I'm so excited to share this case study with you. Erin Dodd is the owner of Drysdale Remedial Therapies, studying in 2020. Erin holds her diploma of remedial massage. She has a diploma of specialized Bowen therapy, and she's a level 2 sports trainer. Erin opened her own business at her shopfront in 2021, just 6 months out from college. And what I love about Erin is that she has such a heart and passion for the incredible work that she does. She is the mum of four gorgeous kids, and she lives in Drysdale, where they are really embedded. Her and her whole family are embedded as part of the community. Not only was she the captain of the Drysdale Lady Hawks last year, she is now the head one of the trainers at with their men's team, and she really has an incredible handle on the way that she runs her business. She has run other businesses in the past in the retail space, and she brings all of those wisdom and skills and knowledge. And also, learning how to run a remedial massage clinic is vastly different to running a global and rather large retail business that she's worked with in the past. So I'm really excited to share with you Erin's story. She has done an incredible job and built her clinic to 5 incredible people in her team, and is just doing some exceptional things with the local people, both from the sports, looking at her community and really keeping her athletes really healthy and really well as her retirees and the gorgeous people and everyone in between that her and her team look after regularly at Drysdale Remedial Therapies. Hello, Erin. Thank you so much for coming and doing a case study with us today.
No problems, thank you.
Would you like to share a little bit about your background as a practitioner? Like, why did you get into massage? How long have you been doing it? And tell us a little bit about yourself as a therapist.
No problem. I think I recently studied. I studied only in 2020. After about 15 years in retail, I decided that I wanted to do something different and take my life in a different direction. So decided to do remedial massage therapy. There was no real underlying passion or reason for doing remedial massage therapy. My criteria for a future career was somewhere that I didn't sit behind a desk all day because I don't sit still very well. And I just have a drive to help people. So remedial massage sort of fitted that criteria. And yeah, so away I went.
And what was it like studying in 2020? Things would have been a little bit different.
So it was one of those years where the kids studied at home. So we did have 5 people, including myself, studying from home. So it took a mammoth amount of planning and yeah, just making sure everybody had their routine and everything had everything all the time. It was not without its challenges, but when I did have to do at home logbook hours, I had plenty of bodies to put my hands on. And the kids didn't mind a weekly or twice a week massage themselves. So I think in a way it sort of kept us sane and comfortable at home. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that is such a good idea. Like, helpful. So do you want to tell us a little about your clinic then? How long have you had your clinic, and tell us a little bit about what that journey's been like?
Yeah, I opened the clinic in May 2021. So I opened the clinic 5 months after getting my certificate of graduating from remedial massage. Um, I guess because of the retail work that I'd been doing, I knew a little bit about how to run a business. And so just went as soon as I possibly could straight into it. So, hmm.
And that's pretty brave, 6 months worth of experience to jump out
Yeah.
there. But obviously, like I said, you've had lots of experience in the past. Um, what did you do to get some business like knowledge specific around the massage industry?
So just before and during the beginning of my opening the clinic in remedial massage, I did work through the Fully Booked Without Burnout course that you guys offer. And I used that course and the 8 weeks that it progresses along to build the foundation to open my clinic in a way that I knew would be running well and specifically for the massage industry. So that was, I believe, a brilliant way to begin from the get-go, that the opening up that clinic there.
And just having, yeah, those foundations in place to be able to go, this is what I know about business and running things in the past, and this is specifically around the massage. And that is a really great way to start your career and create that foundation. And then it's been a couple of years. So we've been working together in our six-figure program now since, well, for about another 8 or so months.
Mhm.
Do you want to share a little bit about like why did you step in for more coaching?
So once I got the foundations of the business set up, I just needed a bit of time to get it rolling. So building up the clients, building up my hours in the clinic. So I think it was maybe about 18 months or so between the six figure and joining the fully booked. When I came on board with the six figure, I had one therapist working for me at that point in time. And that was, I needed a bit more guidance around that. It's a little bit different to just retail hours with compliance, and I found that I could do marketing to market myself, and I could put myself out there. I found it very difficult, not difficult, but I found it more challenging to fill another practitioner's calendar because it wasn't promoting me, it was promoting them. And I believe there's a very different tactic around that. So I needed a bit more guidance with other like staff that I was bringing on board and the marketing around that too, I guess.
So, what have been your top biggest three wins in business so far?
Now that I'm a little over 3 years in business, I have a team of 5, which includes myself. So I have 3 remedial massage therapists, a Bowen therapist, and myself, who's trained in both remedial and Bowen therapy. So for 3 years in, I think that's a pretty big team. Didn't think I'd get that big that quickly. I still know that there's room to grow there, but just yeah, having the confidence to bring on more therapists and help the people in the community would be one of the biggest wins. Last financial year with working with you guys, every month in the last financial year, my revenue increased on top of the previous month. So every month technically became the biggest revenue month for the entire year in the revenue in the business. So it's definitely showing the growth that happens when you've got someone guiding you along the way. And I think my biggest win is I've now been able to get the financial backing to renovate our house to be able to fit a bedroom for all of my children and be at home when they're at home and not at school, and be able to take time off on school holidays, and maybe we'll even get a couple of holidays in soon. So just that freedom, and that I know that I have revenue and money coming in and I can work on my own terms. And I think that's the reason why anyone goes into small business, is to be able to dictate those terms in their own time. So that would be my greatest win.
They are huge, huge, huge wins.
Yeah.
Um, let's break them down in terms of the staff and the team. What do you think you put in place to create that kind of like to attract that many therapists into your business?
I did work on, so onboarding now is easier for both myself and the therapist. We've got some really good systems set in place, and it's quite almost like a self-guided onboarding process that therapists go through. I also believe that it takes a bit of courage to bring on new therapists. So just sort of learning the skills about filling their calendars and doing the right marketing, and then having the courage to say yes when they show up, has probably been the biggest help growing the team.
Yeah. And having that systems in place, I think, to bring on board new team members makes it so much easier to be able to go, okay, here's my welcome pack. This is the training you're going to do. This is what we do. It means that you can, and even if they only stay, heaven forbid, but even if they only stayed for 6 months or 12 months, that kind of what did I do back then is completely taken out when you've got the system and a way that you know is working really well to be able to discern who's a great fit, who's not, who's a great fit on paper, who's a great fit in reality, and then how can we support them to be the best version of them, to really know, is it the culture that's not right, or is this person not right? It's like, no, this person is definitely sticking out. It's not, although you haven't had that experience, at least you know it's really, really clear from the get-go because of the systems that you've created in there.
Yep, I believe so.
And if we have a look at the, month on month on month, best month ever, best month ever, best month ever financial, what were some of the things that you put in place, do you think, to really help support that growth consistently for like 6 months straight?
Beginning the program, it was a lot of trial and error with marketing. So making sure that I was tracking the marketing and what works well and what maybe didn't work as well, being able to watch the booking rates as they were coming up and being able to do sort of like a quick marketing campaign that I know would fill the following week. And then also bringing on new staff. That sort of happened every couple of months as well. So having more availability with the staff also just kept that revenue snowballing through those 6 months as well.
Yeah, so having new team members, which obviously makes sense because they're seeing more clients, but then also having the marketing to back up to fill them, it's like, well, obviously revenue is going to increase with that, especially if you don't have to spend an enormous amount of time and money to actually do that. It does help when you know these things work. That's great. Well, let's talk about the coaching process. Like, what has been one of your biggest challenges in the program?
One of my biggest challenges in the program would potentially come around my own mindset. With the retail businesses that I'd done in the past, I had worked with a couple of other different coaches. So I quite often would look at something that you guys were offering, and in my mind would say to me, you already know that. And I would sit through it anyway. And at the end of every module or video or anything that I watched, guarantee there was always something new and definitely something more industry specific than I had ever done before. And I always found that at the end there was a step-by-step process that just makes doing business or remedial massage business clear and simple. Like, it just took all the guesswork. And sometimes I feel like I lack creativity, and that came with everything that I got anyway. So there was always, yeah, getting the right mindset around, be open-minded and don't shut down anything. And that's, I had to keep slapping myself in the face a little bit around that.
I think it's really common when I mean, for some people, they step into our program, it's their first time. For you, obviously, you have been in multiple coaching programs over the years. And so it could be really easy to go, I don't even need to watch that. I already know it. I don't need to watch that. I already know it. And like I said, to have that open mind, like mine's like parachutes. They only work when they're open, to go, fine, and watch it and be like, oh, actually, it was really helpful. Like, oh, that was really helpful too. That's great. I love it.
Definitely.
And what have you enjoyed about the coaching program?
I definitely think the retreats are everything about the program. Like, there's always the work that you can do within the program itself in the week by weeks, but get into the retreats live in person. It surrounds you with people going through the same thing. In small business, it can be very quiet and lonely sometimes. So knowing that there are other people out there that are doing the same thing and you can connect with, and when it does get lonely and you know, sitting in your clinic trying to figure out what marketing strategy to do next, and you can shoot a new friend who's, you know, doing it somewhere else a message and say, hey, what's worked for you? Or I saw you doing this, how did that go? It just, the connection and the people that you are surrounded by, and being in the live retreats, just the energy in the room. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it is probably our biggest bit of feedback is that people love the retreats and love, especially when they've been in person. And you've attended 2 in-person retreats so far.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that stands out to you about those experiences?
It's always fun. It's great to get away from your own little bubble of life too. and have some fun. And it's normally somewhere warm, which as a Victorian is always a win.
This is true. I planned that intentionally because I'm from Victoria too, and I want to leave when it's cold. I love it. I love it. I was going to say about the results, but I think, is there any other results that you want to talk about specific around mindset, marketing, and mechanics, Erin?
Mechanically, it was the financial guidance.
So what are some of the other results that you've seen in relation to, say, your mechanics? We talk about mindset, marketing, mechanics, and you shared a bit about your mindset, and you've shared about some of the marketing side of things. What about some of the mechanics side of things?
I think the best results I had with the mechanics is the financial guidance, just around managing money and being aware of your numbers, knowing how many bookings, and just managing finances really well. One of my focuses was making sure that with the revenue increase, so did the profitability, and just knowing how to do that and managing it well, I think has been a huge help as well.
And that is so vital because revenue is amazing. We love it. Like, obviously, it's one of the reasons why we're doing a case study, because you've increased revenue and this is amazing. And yet, that doesn't always equate to profit, which is what is the thing that changes the game. It's what allows us to talk to a bank about renovations. It's what allows us to go on holidays, and what allows us to pay our super. It's what allows us to put savings away. So when you have profit in the business and you have increased profitability, it doesn't happen because you wake up one day and there's just a bunch of profit. It happens because you work towards it and actively looking at how you can do that. And the profit first system that we talk about and coach around is a fantastic system for how to see your money every single week and get really clear on that. So what advice would you have for someone who was earlier along in their journey, I guess, that you've learnt that you would share?
I love to live by a rule that is say yes and work out the details later. So if you are at a home-based clinic and you're thinking about getting a clinic space, say yes, work that out. It will open up new opportunities. If you're thinking about getting staff, say yes, and then figure out all the details, the money, the time, the marketing work, all of that. I just truly believe if you say yes, everything else comes. So just say yes, just do it. It's not going to happen if you don't say yes and move forward.
Yeah. And what would be your piece of advice to someone if they were looking similar place to where you were at and they were looking at the six-figure course? What would you say?
Have courage. It does seem a little scary and it might seem like a big commitment, but a little step forward every day is still a step forward. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. Just trust it. Trust the system. You guys, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. You guys have all been through what running a massage clinic is and how to market it and everything. So it took a lot of the guessing out of the business for me. It's sort of see someone that's done something really, really well and do what they did. And you guys have practically made running a successful remedial massage clinic a step-by-step process without any thought or second guessing. Just keep moving forward.
Love it. Erin, thank you so much for your time. You're clearly a busy woman, so I really appreciate that you would set some time aside to be able to chat with us today. Thank you so much.
No problems. Thank you very much too.